Picture your dinner table tonight. Chicken, beef, maybe fish. You never think twice about any of it. Normal food, everyday food. But somewhere on this planet, right now, a farmer is raising thousands of animals for meat that will never touch your plate. Animals that are lean, high protein, low fat. Animals humans have been eating for thousands of years. Crocodiles. Most people assume it's because they're too dangerous to farm. That's not quite right. Millions of them are raised in captivity every single year. For their skin, their meat is often just thrown away. And the real reason you've never tasted it has almost nothing to do with taste. It's about something buried much deeper in your brain. Stay till the end, because this isn't really a story about crocodiles. It's a story about you. So let's start with the meat itself, because here's the twist. Crocodile meat isn't gamey. It isn't strange. People who've eaten it say it tastes like chicken, sometimes like fish. It's lean, very lean. Higher in protein than beef, lower in fat than chicken. Nutritionists in some countries actually call it one of the healthiest meats on Earth. So if it's healthy and it tastes fine, why isn't it sitting next to the chicken breasts at your grocery store? Let's go back further, because eating crocodile isn't new. Ancient Egyptians lived alongside the Nile crocodile for thousands of years. Some worshipped it as the god Sobek. Others hunted it, ate it, used every part of it. In parts of Africa, crocodile has been food for centuries. Aboriginal communities in northern Australia hunted crocodile long before Europeans ever arrived. It wasn't exotic to them, it was survival. So the aversion you feel isn't universal, it isn't ancient, it's cultural, and it was built somewhere specific. Here's what's fascinating. A huge part of the answer comes from something you'd never expect: religion. Many religious dietary laws quietly excluded reptiles thousands of years ago. Jewish dietary law, Kashrut, only permits fish with fins and scales. A crocodile has neither in the way the law requires. So it was never kosher, never an option. Islamic scholars have long debated reptile meat too, with rulings differing by school of thought. In large parts of the world, that ambiguity was enough. If a food might be forbidden, most people simply avoid it. For centuries, entire populations grew up never once considering it as food. Not because it tasted bad, because the question of whether they were even allowed to eat it never got a clear yes. But religion isn't the whole story. There's something older running underneath it, something wired into you before you could even speak. Think about the animals humans eat most: cows, chickens, pigs, sheep, prey animals, animals lower on the food chain than us. Now think about a crocodile, an animal that can kill you in seconds, an animal that, for most of human history, hunted us. Our ancestors didn't just fear crocodiles from a distance. In parts of Africa, Nile crocodiles are still responsible for hundreds of human deaths every year. Not accidents, not rare encounters. A predator that has hunted humans consistently for as long as we've lived near rivers. Our brains carry an old, deep script. Eat what's below you, fear what's above you. A crocodile doesn't just break that script, it flips it completely. Eating a predator that could eat you feels wrong on a level words can barely explain. Psychologists call this a threat-based disgust response. It's the same reaction that makes you flinch at a spider. Not because spiders are unhealthy to touch, because your brain flagged them as dangerous long before you were born. A crocodile pulls that same ancient alarm. Cold eyes, armored skin, rows of teeth. Your gut doesn't process nutrition first. It processes threat first. And a threat to your instincts is never food. It's something to run from. There's more to it. Disgust researchers have found that animals resembling reptiles trigger a different kind of aversion than mammals do, something closer to contamination fear, the same feeling you get near something that might carry disease. A cow feels familiar, warm-blooded, almost relatable. A crocodile feels alien, cold-blooded, unreadable. That unreadability matters more than you'd think. You can look into a dog's eyes and sense something. Look into a crocodile's eyes, and there's nothing looking back that feels like you. No warmth, no expression, just stillness right before it moves. That stillness is part of what makes it terrifying. And terrifying things throughout your evolutionary history were never on the menu. So what killed any chance of it becoming normal? Practicality did the rest. Cows graze in open fields. Chickens grow fast in small pens. Both have been bred for centuries purely for meat, purely for efficiency. Crocodiles are different. They're farmed almost entirely for their skin. Leather for handbags, belts, boots. That's the real business. A single high-end crocodile leather handbag can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. The meat is often a byproduct, sometimes discarded, sometimes sold cheaply to local markets. Processing a crocodile is slow. The hide is thick. The animal is dangerous to handle. Butchering one takes far more skill and time than a chicken ever will. When an industry is already built around leather, meat becomes an afterthought. Not because it's inedible, because there was never enough demand to build a system around it. And demand needs familiarity. Familiarity needs exposure. Most people in Western countries have simply never seen crocodile meat in a store, a restaurant, or a family recipe. You can't crave what you've never been offered. Think about how strange that actually is. If crocodile meat had shown up on your plate as a child, the way chicken did, none of this fear would exist. You just call it dinner. The disgust isn't in the meat, it's in the story you were never told. But here's the part almost nobody realizes. People are eating it, right now. Just not where you'd expect. In parts of Australia, crocodile meat shows up on restaurant menus as a novelty dish for tourists. In Zimbabwe and South Africa, crocodile farms sell meat locally, alongside the leather trade. In Thailand, it's grilled, stir-fried, even turned into crocodile jerky. In Vietnam and Cambodia, crocodile farming has grown into a real industry, supplying both meat and skin to local markets. In the southern United States, alligator, a close cousin of the crocodile, is a normal part of Cajun cooking in Louisiana. Gumbo, sausage, fried alligator bites. Some restaurants there serve it the same casual way others serve wings. Nobody in that culture thinks twice about it. To them, your reaction would be the strange one. So the meat was never the problem. The border around your plate was drawn by geography, religion, and fear, not biology. Which brings us to the real question. Why does any of this matter to you? Because your plate feels personal. It feels like pure taste, pure choice. But almost nothing on it got there by accident. Every food you eat and every food you'd never touch passed through filters you never chose. Filters built by ancient fear of predators. Filters built by religious law written thousands of years before you were born. Filters built by whatever your parents happened to cook, in whatever country you happened to grow up in. You didn't decide crocodile was off the menu. That decision was made for you, generations ago, by people who never met you, and you inherited it without ever noticing. The same is true for almost every taboo you carry, not just about food, about what's normal, what's acceptable, what feels instinctively wrong. Most of it was never really yours to begin with. It was handed down, absorbed, never questioned. So the next time something feels obviously, instinctively disgusting to you, pause for a second. Ask where that feeling actually came from. Because somewhere on Earth, right now, someone is eating what horrifies you. And somewhere else, someone is horrified by what's on your plate tonight. Neither of you is wrong. You're both just running old code you never wrote.